I know there's a lot of talk about Generation Z and how they do their things and how they reason and how they see life. But sometimes I think they are more self-aware than us because they are not about what society thinks.
Yes. I think from our generation or our parents' generation, self-awareness can be seen as selfishness.
Exactly.
Taking care of yourself, saying no
Yes.
when you feel this is not valuable to you. There is that difference between self-awareness and selfishness.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. My name is Odipo Otieno. I am a certified learning and development professional, an executive certified trainer of trainers. And today I'm here with my colleague, Mumbi Rimungi. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mumbi Rimungi, and I am a personal development advocate, and I'm also a learning and development consultant. And we are here to share some insights on personal development.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed with this session today, we want to talk largely about personal development, and especially the core of personal development, which is self-awareness. We want to understand how self-awareness impacts on us, how self-awareness will eventually contribute to our personal development in all aspects of life, whether it is career-wise, whether it is social life, spiritual life, mentally, and all that and all that.
Yes.
So probably I want to start by trying to define what I understand by personal development.
Yeah.
And I had a quote somewhere. I read somewhere where somebody was saying that the road to perfection is being repetitive. When you are repetitive, then at the end of the day, you are able to achieve your success. Think of it like somebody who is walking on this grass. If this person, or if you Mumbi, every day you're walking on this grass, same pathway, every day, regularly, you are able to form a particular pattern.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the path that you're following will actually form something like a road, or let me call it a path.
There are other people would call it habits that turn into lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yes.
So those walks, those repetitive habits, those repetitive actions that we keep doing, that person who is walking across a particular field of grass every day regularly, at the end of the day, that place will form a path. Or those habits that we practice and we repeat every day,
Yes.
forms our personal development.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we must be aware of ourselves and of those habits.
We have to be aware of that path that you have created. It's funny thing that you have mentioned about that. You have given that example of a path you're used to walking. You've seen at Ushago where or even somewhere where it's green, but there's usually a shortcut that people did. There are other pathways, but there's a shortcut that people use, and you see those marks, and it's on the lawn, and it's usually sometimes not very beautiful looking because, of course, there are other pathways, but it has already been developed. And how I would look at it is that path is your behavioral pattern. Yes. When you start habits that turn into lifestyle, those habits might start from when you're a child, or even when you're a teenager, or whatever point in your life. But when you're used to those habits, it becomes a lifestyle and becomes part of your behavioral system. So when you're talking about understanding yourself, self-awareness is looking into those habits that have pulled apart, which I would call it, or even experts call, behavioral pattern recognition. Going back to your early ages and understanding your behavioral pattern. Understanding your behavioral pattern helps you know who you are.
Yes. And talking about or knowing who you are, this self-awareness journey. I think for me, I can say I've been one of those people who discovered the sense very late. Very, very late.
Yeah.
I come from a generation where our parents really insisted on what we should be, rather than what I wanted to be.
Oh yeah,
And so, my father was an engineer, and still an engineer. Okay, they don't retire. So he envisioned his son being an engineer. And so when I went to high school, I was very good in primary school. When I went to high school, that was the goal.
Yeah.
That was the goal. But when I saw by mid-high school that I wouldn't be able to become an engineer, I was placed upon another crown to become a doctor. But that was also an uphill task.
Yeah.
So eventually, by the time I was almost clearing,
because your academics were not matching the
threshold.
Yeah, for being a doctor.
For being a doctor, or being an engineer, there was some combinations those days that you needed to achieve in terms of certain subjects and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
For you to be able to get into the university to study that particular course. So eventually, by the end of my third year in high school, I think it was clear that I was not going to be an engineer. So we landed on accounting. And fair enough, I finished my high school. I did quite fairly. So I joined an accountancy college. Started from the very, very low level, because also I hadn't qualified to be at that level where you join the real accountancy.
Yes.
So I did like a bridging course for accountancy. So with time, I moved out of the college, joined campus. I did my bachelor's of commerce in accounting. I went ahead and did some postgraduate certificates on finance and economics and accounting. But you know what? When I got out there into the job market, there was no job for accounting, finance, for economics.
And then must have been flooded by then. But
Yes. It was very flooded, and everybody was talking about, everybody had done become accountant. So anybody could hire you.
So it's either B.Ed or B.Com.
B.Ed, Bachelor of Education.
Oh yeah, or Bachelor of Commerce. Yeah.
Bachelor of Commerce. So you'd go somewhere. Anybody would hire you for a mere 5,000 shillings to be an accountant.
Yeah.
So it was really flooded. So the most of the jobs that were coming were sales jobs. So I decided, because time was being much spent, I said to pick up a sales job, and I started off as an insurance sales agent.
Yeah.
Right. So the first few months, 7 or 8 months, I was not into this career of sales, because I still knew in my head my father wanted me to be an accountant. When I got the experience, when I started experiencing even the commission, the money, because it was a commission-only job, and the way I'd interact with the people doing that job, selling, and then I discovered that this could be what I was supposed to be. And I looked back when I was in high school. I was quite popular. I remember I was among the people who founded the journalism club. These pupils who every weekend there was a drama festival, music festival, sports activity. I was always there. When I was in campus, I was also very popular, and most importantly, or interestingly, most positions I held in these clubs and societies were secretarial positions, where you are the one who makes announcements. You are the connector between the club and the audience.
Yes.
So when I was doing sales is when I discovered that by the way I'm a people person. I discovered my personality. I discovered that I'm actually an extroverted, still sanguine. I thrive where people are.
Yeah.
And I guess sales was the right job for me.
Yeah.
Even right now, as I'm doing training, I do it effortlessly, very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I can say that that moment when I got into sales, selling insurance,
Yeah.
and I've been doing sales for the last 16 years or 15 years, that's when I discovered myself. And as a result of that self-awareness is now when my personal development journey started, and that's where I am today. So personal development cannot go without self-awareness.
Absolutely. It is the root of it's the root of personal development. Self-awareness is the root of personal development. And I'm very passionate about this topic because it also really touches on my past and on my growth in my personal development journey. Now, when I was growing up, I didn't do well in school.
Yeah, likewise. I think
I did not
I think so many people didn't do too well, and those people who didn't do too well are doing very well right now. Yeah.
So when I was not doing when we were doing the performance list numbers, these days with CBC they don't have those.
Yes. Like a performance per school.
Not even now with the class, my name was at the bottom of the list throughout the primary. Turns out actually I passed on my KCSE and my KCPE, which later I realized that the environment that I put myself in to actually like rush towards the exams is what helped me. Now, later on, growing up, actually in my 30s, I have been a confused person. Yes, I was like you. I was also told what to do. I was told to go and do a Bachelor of Education, which I am thankful for because I am a teacher by profession, and that has also guided me to the journey of a learning and development consultant, and also encouraging me to teach about self-awareness, about personal development, about improving yourself. So when I was when I got into my 30s, I started doing pattern recognition from my past, my performance, my relationship with people. And I actually diagnosed myself with ADHD because I realized that I never concentrated in class. I never concentrate on so many things. I rarely pay attention unless it's things that I am totally interested in. I lose focus very easily. Therefore, even an 8 to 5 job for me, it really didn't work.
Quite impossible.
It was quite impossible. But I have always been a dreamer. I've always been this person with great ideas. Now, unfortunately, what happened when in my childhood, like you, growing up in a culture where there are expectations of what you need to do to make your parents proud or to make your community proud. So in my case, there was that struggle between make your parents proud and why don't you look for a secure job that will give you healthy loans? And of course, the option was TSC, the government employment, because I did education. But I felt walking into class every day, teaching, and I also I couldn't even choose the school that I wanted to teach.
Yes.
I had to just face, I realized that I am yes, and I realized that I am one person to choose my employer. Because if I don't choose my employer, if I just choose any job, I will end up disappointing because I lose focus very easily. So anyways, with all that confusion and then now the anxiety that I have been a dreamer but not a doer, I'm not executed on so many things, and it's because there was expectation that kinda pinned my things down. There was those cultural and societal doctrines that pinned me down, that instructed what you're supposed to do with the profession, with your life. Yeah, if you decided that I want to be an international model in all family.
Yeah, it was impossible.
It was impossible.
Models were deemed people who were exposing them, exposing their nakedness and so on and so forth.
No, if you decided to be a DJ, where? There's a time when I was 8 years old, I found myself dancing. I love dancing. I found myself dancing outside my father's shop in town. And I saw people staring at me. I'm just a young soul and I'm dancing to some music and I see people staring at me. But then I had to stop because I felt that was wrong, because I'm bringing attention to myself. So that is what I was taught. Don't bring too much attention to yourself.
Yeah.
So those are some of the elements that kind of pin you down from dreaming, from achieving those things that you dream. Because in the culture, the society, the family that you're from, that thing that you're passionate about is out of the norm. So anyways, understanding myself, and actually later I went to the therapist and I actually got diagnosed with ADHD. That journey of understanding myself, understanding my weaknesses, and how I can use my strength to dissolve the weaknesses has been just an amazing step to my own personal development journey.
And I think when you talk about cultural expectations, I'm drawn to the thought of course, those days when most of us were growing up, when there was this not only cultural but societal expectations.
Yes.
That once you are in school, you need to pass to get a job.
Yes.
Then when you are out of school, you need to find a college.
Yeah.
Or employment, assuming you are from college.
Yeah,
So and if you don't find employment, it becomes a problem. You're told that you're not looking enough.
You're not
searching for jobs enough. So once you land a job, the next thing would be, when are you getting married?
Yes.
When are you going to marry? Have you found somebody to settle down with? And I keep thinking these were societal expectations. I know there's a lot of talk about Generation Z and how they do their things and how they reason and how they see life. But sometimes I think they are more self-aware than us, because they are not about what society thinks.
Yes.
Because remember, once you get a job and you get someone and you settle down with them, the next thing would be, I am not seeing grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing children walking around. Then the next thing, and it kept piling and piling and piling and piling. And you could be compared with your peers and so and so. And so I can almost attribute that to a generation that did not, and I believe we come from that generation that was not so much exposed to the idea of self-awareness.
Yes.
And
individualism.
And individualism.
Yes.
And you see, that's why I think when now times have become hard in the recent past, there's a lot of people from this generation or our generation who cannot handle pressure. And there are cases of people giving up, people being disappointed, people getting into drugs, people getting into vices that they couldn't, even if you met this person and you look at him and you cannot even imagine that this person could have ended like this. And sometimes even people commit suicide.
They do.
But for Generation Z, I see them making decisions on the go.
Yeah.
If this thing is not of value to them, they move.
Yes.
I know of a procurement manager who resigned over lunchtime. I know a very, very serious data analyst who just decided, I need a break. And they were not going to any other job. They just put in their resignation and left. And they just went and sat down and relaxed, right? Because I think they are more self-aware. So Mumbi, maybe if you can just tell us, what do you think are some of the impacts of being self-aware? And of course, in relation to personal development. When someone is self-aware, you know yourself, you understand yourself. What are these positives that you can carry with you every day when the sun rises and you're feeling like your head is up and you can do,
Before I answer your question, I want to touch on what you said about self-awareness. And I think from our generation or our parents' generation, self-awareness can be seen as selfishness.
Exactly.
Taking care of yourself, saying no.
Yes.
When you feel this is not valuable to you, they say, your cousin needs to come over to your house and stay for 3 months while they study. You can say no. Because this is going to affect your mental health, because maybe your cousin is toxic, Or
even just the general economics within your household.
Within the household. But then your parents or those people, you think that, Mumbi is selfish, But there is that difference between self-awareness and selfishness. So as we look at the impact of self-awareness, and before we say the self-awareness is the improvement of the self, and the roots comes as it's rooted at, personal development is rooted from self-awareness, understanding yourself. And we said that it starts from pattern recognition. With pattern recognition, you understand what are your strengths, you understand what are your weaknesses, you understand who are you really? Are you a people person? Are you a behind the desk person? So when you understand yourself, you are able to root yourself. And that means, going to point number one, rooting yourself, that means a clearer goal setting. A clearer goal setting. You understand yourself, wait, I'm a very crafty person. I like, stitching things. So you can decide to strategically learn how to, be an expert in it, and then move on from monetizing in it. And the purpose of this is to create that relief in providing skills that you are passionate about. Yes, this comes from self-awareness. Another thing I would talk about on the impact of self-awareness is being emotionally intelligent. Being emotionally intelligent is when you understand who you are. For example, with my history with ADHD, sometimes, one of the symptoms of ADHD is lack of impulsive control.
Yes.
And then looking into my emotional impulses, sometimes I can get like a real, I won't be violent because I'm not grown up in a violent home, thankfully. But I can get really, really toxic when it comes to like emotional outbursts. Like when those instances that I've had outbursts, it's somebody looking aside and like, how do I even deal with this person? So understanding me with my emotional outburst, and understanding, this is what I am feeling. This is the emotion that I'm feeling, Now that is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is not just understanding about the self, but understanding about the others. So when you see somebody who is out of the norm, maybe talking too much if you're not somebody who talks too much, somebody who is too quiet, but you're just busy blubbering in that conversation, then you get to understand that this person is different.
Yeah.
Yes? So it makes emotional intelligence, with the self-awareness, it makes it easier for you to communicate or live or work alongside other people. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think maybe some of them, some of the impact even in your life that self-awareness has?
No, for me, in summary, self-awareness allows you to live to your optimal.
Yeah.
It allows you to live to your ultimate potential.
Yes.
And when you are at your ultimate potential, you are able now to explore or to ask yourself, what are other avenues that I can explore to even develop myself more personally.
Yeah.
And I like that you've also brought the idea of emotional intelligence. Because at the end of the day, somebody said no man is an island. So in as much as I am self-aware about myself, I should also be, in quotes, self-aware of other people.
Yeah.
I should be able to understand other people, know how to relate to them. But how do I understand them? By also trying to understand
situational awareness.
situational.
Yeah. Self-aware about other people.
Yes.
Situational.
Yes. And I had a boss who used to say that as a person you have to be fluid. By being fluid means you have high adaptability skills.
Yes.
So when you're in a certain situation, that situational awareness comes in. You are able to adapt to every situation.
Absolutely.
So in your line of duty, in your line of social life, in your line of whatever, the people you meet, are you able to be socially conscious?
Yeah.
Are you able to be situationally conscious about the surrounding that you are? That is now emotional intelligence.
Yes.
So that you know where to stop, where to control yourself, where to, like you're talking about your outbursts, right?
Yes.
And you also know that this person, if I cross this line, this is what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, you are able to live optimally.
Yeah.
As I am saying, I think Gen Zs are. I know people are saying they're quite a difficult lot to deal with.
They love Gen Z.
Yes,
Gen Zs are some of
they
these interesting people. I want to hang out.
they are independent minded.
Yeah.
They make their decisions, and their decisions are informed by facts.
Did you take a psychological communications?
No, I took communication skills just as a uni campus.
So we had UCU units, a common unit, sorry. And in education, one of the common units was psychology. And
I did.
You did?
Yes. As a common unit.
As a common unit. And I remember those years, almost 15 years back then, as some of what we learned in psychology, and that was individualism. And the individualism is that self, like just depending on your own mind, getting into your own mind and picking your own mind without depending on other people. No, you can depend on other people through learning. Of course, you can learn there, really they're experts, yeah. But the decision is based on yourself.
Yes.
And what I love about Gen Z is that they are questioning things that even professors and engineers and doctors are not questioning. And it gives me an example of there's something I was listening to the other day. I think it was an audiobook, and it was talking about elephants in a circus.
Yes.
Yes. Now, these circus people take elephants as when they're calves, yeah. and they start nurturing them. They start nurturing them and training them how to, and you need them lock down their necks and move them around a place like this, move them around. But over the years, the elephant is growing bigger and growing bigger and growing bigger, but it's comfortable with what it's being fed by this person. The elephant does not understand its power that it can break out of those trees. Yes? What I look at with Gen Z is they are the elephant that discovered the power.
The power.
We have really successful people who discovered their strengths and their uniqueness at as late as the age of 70s and 80s. I just think that it is important for everybody at whatever age you are to discover your uniqueness, what is unique about you, and all that starts from self-awareness. And the moment you discover what is unique about you, you're able to pivot your purpose journey. Yes.
Yes, amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, self-awareness is a topic that we can discuss all day long, all week long, all month long, all year long, probably centuries. But the most important thing for us to understand is that self-awareness is a pivotal aspect of your personal development. And we say that self-awareness is basically, or even the personal development is basically the small habits that you keep repeating every day that finally become a habit, a norm that is within you. But most importantly, do you understand yourself? Are you emotionally intelligent? Do you understand the people around you? Are you self-aware about what you want to become? Are you able to say no when you mean no, right? So remember, like when we began, we say that, the road to perfection is actually in the repetition, which eventually will bring in the success. And will give the analogy of somebody who is walking at a particular lawn or grass field. Every now and again, regularly, eventually that place forms a path. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. My name is Odipo Otieno. Remember, successful people look like you.
Absolutely. My name is Mumbi Rimungi, and we will continue having these conversations on your personal development journey, how you can tweak some tricks to grow yourself, your career, your businesses. And all these are coming from even our personal experiences and experiences of people who have tried through this economy that we are talking about. Yeah, make money through even the toughness. There are people who are making money. There are people who are living their dreams. And it's because they have changed their mindsets.
Yeah.
It's all about mindsets. Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and share to people you believe that this information or conversation will be valuable to. See you in the next session.